Hey everybody, welcome back to TLDR. Uh, Today I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite games of all time, and the reason why I'm talking about it is because today is its 10th anniversary, and that game is Alan Wake, as you can tell by the title of the video. But I really enjoyed this game. Uh, and normally you'll see that I have the thing that I'm reviewing in my hands, but today I do not because I own it digitally. Uh, Alan Wake is one of those games where, like, I didn't buy it originally. A friend of mine who also works on the Heart of Geek, uh, he let me borrow it, and I played it through to the end. Uh, Never got the DLC, and then basically got an Xbox One, and then Alan Wake became backwards compatible, and I was able to play it on there. So I bought it, and I bought the DLC, and I played through it again, and I was like, I love this game all over again because, quite frankly, Alan Wake is just one of those games. If you're a horror fan, whether it's a horror film fan, a horror uh, show fan, a horror game fan, like Alan Wake will hit so many marks for you. It's pretty freaking great. Uh, like, let me start out with the beginning of the game so that you can understand like where it begins. Basically, at the beginning of the game, you are a guy whose name is Alan Wake, and you're a crime writer who hasn't been able to write for months, and it's starting to bother you. So your wife goes, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna go to this place called Bright Falls," and so you guys take a vacation to Bright Falls. She's got a cabin set up and everything. So you go and you get the keys to the cabin and you get there, and it turns out that your wife didn't just bring you here for a vacation, she brought you here to write. And so it starts an argument, and things quickly escalate from there. And I'm not going to spoil the rest of the game because it's definitely one of those games that you need to play and experience the story firsthand because it's just great. Uh, like, Alan is a pretty great protagonist because he's like, he's as weirded out by the whole situation as you are. Uh, and like, it's just great because he's the vessel through which the whole game is told to you, basically. So it's really easy to just get invested in this game, and uh, the story is just phenomenal. By the end of just the main story, you'll be like, "What the heck?" Because it opens up a whole world of possibilities, and then there's the two story DLCs that add on top of that. And yes, we haven't had Alan Wake 2. We had Alan Wake's American Nightmare, which kind of picks up where this one left off, but we haven't had like a full-fledged sequel because like it started to be something and then that evolved into Quantum Break, and then Control has come out since and they reference Alan Wake, and I just really want Alan Wake 2, just saying. Like, even if it's 10 years down the line, do not care. If they remastered Alan Wake and just made it like super pretty graphics and stuff like that, I'd be okay with that too. Like, and so story is great. The mechanics of the game are pretty awesome too. Because as you go through, you know how I said Alan has had writer's block for a while? Well, it turns out through the story, you find out there's a story that Alan wrote that he has no idea that he even wrote. And you'll find manuscript pages as you go through the game, which like tell you an entirely new facet of the story for the rest of the game. And I think that's really cool because it encourages exploration so that you can get the full story. And that I think is just great. I think like allowing people to look for the hidden stories of the game is fantastic. Like I think a lot of games that do that really well turn out phenomenally. BioShock I think has like with the audio logs and stuff like that, it does a pretty good job of doing that too. It fleshes out the world and makes things like, oh, okay. Uh, and the combat in this game is really cool because there's these creatures that are like shadowy, and the only way to defeat them is by using light to banish the shadows and then destroying them. Which, like, you got your one hand is your flashlight, and the other hand is your gun, and it's just like it's really intuitive and it really makes a lot of sense. And there are people that are probably going to yell at me in the comments going, Alan Wake had horrible controls. Okay, they might not be for you. Like, I really don't know what to say to that. Like if you're more into like a certain style of games, this may not float your boat. But yeah, game mechanics I think are great. And like along with the story, but kind of its own thing there are so many references to horror in this game. Like to get to Bright Falls, you had to take a ferry, and like there's a car on the ferry that is Sam Raimi's car from all of the movies he's done, like Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness. That car is on the ferry. I didn't notice it until my second time playing through the game. Like, and it's like, if you pay attention, you'll see little nods and references. I don't call them Easter eggs because Easter eggs are hidden. If they're in your face, that is a reference to something. If you have to find it, that's an Easter egg. That's me being nitpicky because that's what I do. But yeah, like so many horror references. If you're a horror fan, it's totally for you. Like, it's just fun. Like, and I know everything that I've said so far is this game is great. You guys need to buy it. You guys need to do some things. You guys need to play it. The only thing that I can say is a downside to this game, and maybe it's just something I didn't like that is actually in the game that I didn't know was in the game. Believe me, if you know, tell me in the comments. And basically it's this. Throughout the game, there are TVs that are playing a show called Night Springs. And Night Springs is basically the Twilight Zone of the Alan Wake universe. And it turns out Alan Wake actually wrote some episodes of Night Springs in the canon of the game. And basically, they're all really neat. But they're all shown on a TV that's about this big. So if I could like watch those in the game and then have them show up as an unlockable thing that I can watch in the menus whenever I want, do it. If you remaster it, do it. Because I want to see those all the time. Like, I will boot up the game hundreds of times just to watch those. Because, yeah, they're only like a minute long or something like that. But they're written in such like a weird way that I'll just watch those. I don't even have to play the rest of the game. I will because it's Alan Wake, and Alan Wake is awesome, and I think that everybody that has ever played it will at least go, yeah, it's pretty good. May not be their forte or whatever, but quite frankly, Alan Wake's a great game. And I mean, it's the 10th anniversary, and people are still talking about it. And they're making DLC for Control that's going to be talking about that. And like seriously, like I got nothing. Like that's it. So like what I'm saying here is if you're a fan of Alan Wake, tell me in the comments. If you played it and it just wasn't for you, go ahead and tell me that in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing a whole bunch of other types of videos eventually. I got some sketches planned that are coming up. I plan on being ridiculous on this channel. And yeah, if you want to spread some Alan Wake love, share it with your friends. Put it on your social media. Go to our social media: the Facebook, The Heart of Geek; Twitter, The Heart of Geek; Instagram, The Heart of Geek. Even though we haven't put anything on there, I think we really should. Yeah, like if there's some sort of social media out there, we probably have The Heart of Geek on there somewhere. And yeah, I hope to see you here again for whatever we have coming. I don't know what to do with my hands. So yeah, have fun. Play Alan Wake. It's good. It's really good. And yeah, and if you're somebody who's played it a bunch and you want to tell me your favorite things about it, throw it in the comments. If you're a person who the only reason they even started playing Alan Wake was because of this video, I find that highly suspect because we've only got 6 subscribers, and I don't think that that's a possibility. But you know what? I love to see that. And if there are other videos that I've put out or that we talked about on our podcast that you like, that got you into watching something, throw that in the comments. I love hearing about that kind of stuff. But we hope to see you again here on The Heart of Geek, and whether it's on TLDR or Whip Your Deck Out or any of the other magical things that I and the other guys have planned that are taking a bit too long to come out. Yeah. Bye.